This is Shannon Harper. Monday, January 26, 2015. This is the CUSEN-wide network Google Hangouts call. We're waiting for participants to arrive. No, Beth and Joy. I won't be able to speak much because I'm working, so I have to be quiet. It's during the presentation, but I do see Beth and Joy on the call. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone?
I can hear you.
Okay. We have 4 viewers.
All I see so far are you, me, and Reverend Joy.
There's Barry.
And Barry.
Okay, I'm going to go back to mute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. We have 4 viewers.
All I see so far are you. All of a sudden, everyone sounds underwater.
David?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. It says our network connection is experiencing difficulties. Maybe that's me. Is anybody else here?
Yep, Beth, Barry, and Joy.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see images. Beth, Barry, Joy, and now Jimmy. Jimmy from Pittsburgh said he was here somewhere, but I don't know where he is.
He's in the he's a viewer. He'll be able to watch.
Now what if Todd said he could be on the call?
He did confirm that he would be on the call, and Lillian confirmed she would be on the call. I have not received an email from either one of them, so I'm not sure if they're having issues or something.
Now I know when I went onto Google Hangouts, there was a little teeny thing that popped up there, and I had to click on the camera to get into this conversation.
Okay, I'll send a little note about that right now.
Yeah, I mean, what about others? How did you get in the conversation? Beth or Joy?
I had to click a thing to join in as well.
Yeah, was it like a little, little teeny thing that with a little box with a little camera, a little green camera, and a little thing? Okay.
It said that it was recording this whole thing. I had to agree to it and join in.
Right. Yeah, I didn't. That kind of surprised me. I wasn't looking for that. What about you, Joy? Your mic's muted.
Hi, I'm here.
So did you click on that little teeny camera thing that was floating in a box?
I was choosing not to do camera. Do you want to see me?
No, no, no. I'm talking about when you joined the conversation.
I cannot tell you how I managed to get in here.
Oh. Well, it just matters that you're here.
I'm here. I'm here. I don't know how I'll repeat it next time, but.
Oh, goodness. So, I guess Jimmy is trying to get in here. I see messages on here. Hopefully Shannon can get to him. Well, so how is everybody?
Doing okay.
What about you, Barry? Beth?
I am hearing an echo. I'm not sure if you guys can hear my voice very well, but I've got an echo that I'm hearing.
I heard an echo when you were speaking. What, do I have an echo?
No.
Yeah, it's a weird echo for me. It comes like 30 seconds later, and I hear the same conversation over.
Barry, I had to close out some other things, and then my echo went away.
Okay, I'll give that a try.
I have to use headphones with my laptop to remove the echo.
Well, I guess, do we want to wait a few minutes to see if we can get Jimmy and Lillian and a few others? Or what? I
Was
guess.
Jimmy going to participate, or he just wanted to listen in?
I can't. I mean, I guess listen in. If Todd's going to be on the call, then he probably can't.
Okay.
I don't. You know, I guess. Todd did say that his backup was Jimmy in case something happens that he can't be on the call. I just don't know if Jimmy is here in place of Todd or just to listen. I just talked to Todd about an hour ago, and he was planning to be on the call.
Since she's joined the network team, is Reverend Kathy going to start joining these calls as well?
She can if she wants. It's not required per se. I think she goes to Louisville, and as long as Louisville is represented.
Which Barry does that.
Yeah, Barry does that. And so that's going to be her call, but I don't think it's required. Well, instead of being idle here, I guess is there any I guess what's going on personally? Is everybody recovering from the holidays, getting the new year off on a good foot? What's going on?
We really didn't get much time to recover because the young trans teenager who committed suicide and made international news, that was in my corner of Ohio.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you may have heard about it, Leila Alcorn.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't put it together that it was in Dayton. I didn't realize that.
Well, it's between Dayton and Cincinnati.
Ah.
And so there have been 2 vigils in Cincinnati, and then the one in Dayton we hosted at the church. And that was kind of amazing because the outcry has been huge in this area. And so we had a chance to really have a true witness because we suspect why Leila committed suicide is because her parents, who were Church of Christ people, cut her off of social media and pulled her out of school, telling her that she shouldn't be transgender or gay.
Oh, goodness.
So they isolated her, and then they sent her to the Christian counseling. So we really got to be a witness. We worked with GLSEN at both locations. And at the Dayton show up, we had 150 people that crowded into every corner of the sanctuary and hanging out the doors. And probably 6 GSA groups were there from the high schools and one from the community college. So I don't know what will happen next, but it's been very interesting how much momentum has happened with that.
Goodness.
The other cool thing is, well, Leila's death is not cool, but the way people responded is cool.
Right.
The Advocate in January named Dayton #1 queerest city in the U.S.
Really?
Yes, and because we had the vigil for Leila planned, the name of the church got in the Advocate.
And I mean, did they say exactly? I think I saw you tell me that in an email.
Yeah, I just sent that over to you.
Why did they pick Dayton as it? I'm just curious.
Well, they have a whole evaluation of it. Part of it is entertainment in the area, like we've had in Dayton. They've had Wicked and Book of Mormon productions. We have one gay bar that's quite nice and lively. The city, both Dayton and Cincinnati, rated very well on the HRC's index. Dayton was like 95%, Cincinnati's 100%. But I don't know why Dayton over Cincinnati. It's kind of interesting. You'll have to read the article.
Well, I mean, but where did San Francisco fall?
Well, they said they weren't going to do the obvious.
Oh, so this is okay. Now
More
that makes more
obscure.
sense. Okay.
Yeah, not the obvious cities, not LA, New York, San Francisco, but other places people might not realize.
Okay. So part that list was supposed to surprise people intentionally.
But we were number one over Atlanta. Atlanta was on the list. We were higher.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, what I loved is the MCC name got in the Advocate because they were relating the vigil information.
Goodness. So we're not getting more people here. It looks like.
That's all we have for now.
I know Steve. I think Steve's trying to get in here as well. From West Virginia. Can you hear me, Shannon?
Yeah, I'm trying to get him in right now.
Ah, okay.
Shannon is unable to talk a whole lot because she's on assignment at work at school right now, so she's on mute.
Ah, and then she's trying to get everybody in here too. She's trying to do a lot there. Oh, well, I mean, I guess, Joy, is there anything else that's going on at Dayton or Cincinnati?
Well, the Dayton Church is still evaluating whether to put its building on the market. That's the biggest issue right now.
Has the discussion started? Have you had already having open discussions, or is this at the committee level still?
Oh no. We talk about it with the congregation frequently because this kind of thing has happened in the past under cover of night, and I don't work that way.
Ah,
so it's
okay.
Not the first time we brought it to the congregation, and I also include it in sermons. But we did have a big discussion yesterday, and we've scheduled a vote for mid-February.
So you're actually going to vote on it all that quick?
Well, no, we've been working on it a long time. We started it. The Renewed Spirit team, which is our discernment group, has been looking into it since summer. The board's been talking about it about that long, too.
Yeah, I forgot, Joy, because I was there in December at your anniversary, and I saw the...
Yeah, yeah, it's that building. Yeah, that's the building.
I totally forgot.
What's funny is the people, the UCC church that wants to rent to us, they've sent it through all discussions except the congregation, and they're raring to go. But my people are starting to get cold feet. So.
Well, but sometimes change can be hard, and it takes a step of faith.
I try not to be too frustrated with them, but I don't know how you could have a more perfectly clear open door from God. To have us looking for a place to rent, and the only positive responder of several calls to the area we were looking at was this church, and they have been continually responsive since we called them late summer.
Well, it's a great location and a great building.
I know, with parking.
Yeah.
The only drawback to it is it's not fully accessible. Those lift chairs work okay unless you can't get into the lift,
Yeah.
If you're fully paralyzed from the waist down, it would be hard. And the bathrooms aren't all fully accessible. But there are no other drawbacks as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we'll keep you in prayer for that meeting next month.
Thank you.
Can you hear us, Steve?
Looks like David might be on. Oh, there's Steve.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you all along, but you all couldn't hear me. I was just participating as a viewer. It was feeling like a video. I was like playing a YouTube video listening to you all, but you all couldn't hear me.
We can
Then,
hear you now.
yeah, a little while ago my phone rang, and I answered that, and that brought me into the call.
Looks like Jimmy's on.
I invited Jimmy into the call. Was unable to reach Reverend Todd. So,
Okay.
and everyone, please put your microphones on mute if you're not speaking. Thank you.
Well, I guess, Steve, since you started there, why don't you go ahead and tell us what's going on in West Virginia?
Well, much the same, regular. We are short in attendance, but other than that, it's holding steady, budget-wise and everything. Just not a lot of regular attenders. We average 7.
Is that are you there more steadily? Because I know there was several weeks where it was just the two of you.
That still happens occasionally, but most weeks we do have 7.
Well, maybe as the new year begins, people will take more serious look at their spiritual life and include worship as a more consistent practice for them.
Yeah, I hope so.
I guess, Jimmy, I spoke to Todd just a short time, about an hour and a half ago or so, but he did say to me that if he can't be on the call, that you would be on the call. Pittsburgh will be the site of our large network gathering in the fall. Todd confirmed that with his board. We have to nail down all the details, of course. Their dates are somewhat open, and then what we're going to be doing is Tony Freeman is going to be coming to our network gathering and doing a sort of a mini seminar on leadership essentials for congregations. A sort of a short description of that is leadership in the local church. We say everything rises and falls on leadership. What does it mean to be a leader in the church? Is it different than leadership in other settings? What are some of the key components of effective leadership in churches? This workshop is designed for lay and clergy to engage in an interactive process to explore leadership in the local church and how you can be more effective in helping your church to realize its mission and vision. This applies whether you are already holding a leadership position in your church or whether you are considering expanding your role. Right now, we have to sort of get some dates nailed down, but right now, Tony's schedule and Pittsburgh's schedule is somewhat open, so we're going to be setting that up at our network team meeting in 2 weeks to sort of get that nailed down. So everybody, and when our newsletter comes out, there'll be something about that, but get that on your radar in the fall. There's going to be a network gathering about leadership essentials for congregations, and Reverend Tony Freeman, who heads the Office of Church Life and Health, will be joining us in doing that at our meeting in Pittsburgh.
Are you talking September or October?
I can't tell you. Right now, I don't know. We have to get the dates nailed down between Tony and Pittsburgh, but right now the dates are open, and so just fall. Is some time better than others for the churches?
We're looking at going on retreat in September, but we can book it for early September.
I think our gathering was in October last year, and so it's likely we may try to do October as well again to sort of move it out of the summer period, away from the summer period. So we'll consider that.
I guess we're fairly open here at Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, that's why I mentioned that, because you guys, Todd told me that it was somewhat open.
Right.
But that was a lead for you, Jimmy, because I know that you guys just celebrated your 4th anniversary as well. You may want to share what you guys are doing with that.
Well, actually, it was this month, and we actually just last night we had a dinner and that's basically all we're doing.
But it's 40 years.
40 years, yes.
So I'm trying to think. Is there any congregation that's older than 40 years in our network? Is Pittsburgh the oldest? I think it is.
I think Cincinnati is.
Oh,
older.
okay. How old is Cincinnati? I didn't realize that.
41 or 42.
Oh, okay. So they just beat Pittsburgh. Okay. Oh, well, Jimmy, what else is going on in Pittsburgh? You're on mute. Can you hear us, Jimmy? Hello? Ah.
Sorry, having a little computer issue there. Gotta love it. Anyway, other than the 40th anniversary, there's not a whole lot going on right now.
Message from Starfleet Command.
Hello?
What's what I guess what has your attendance been like?
Actually, our morning services, we're growing. We're mostly more people are coming in the morning service, and it's been about maybe 30, around 30.
And so you have an evening service still as well?
Yeah, we still have the morning and evening service. A lot of the old timers go to the evening service because they had the evening service. That was that's all they had for a long time.
Right.
And when Todd, took over and we moved the church out, to the suburbs, out of the main city into Monroeville, then we started the morning service. I think people seem to like morning service better.
Yeah, I think for some people that's sort of how people are wired, growing up and being in the church.
Right.
So Barry, what's going on in Louisville?
I'm bringing greetings tonight from several people. One is Pastor Colleen at Louisville, and the congregation had a meeting on January 11th, and the purpose of the meeting was to vote on whether to purchase a new building for our church. And the new building is located in a part of Louisville that is gay-friendly. It's called Clifton Heights, and it has had a gay-friendly church there in the past. When we would be buying a church building of a church congregation that's relocating to Indiana, to the other side of the river from where we are. And the congregation did vote to purchase that building. So this is contingent on selling our current building in the Highlands that we've been in for the last few decades. So right now we have several interested parties that are in active discussions about buying the current building. And we anticipate that the selling price of the current building will be more than adequate to not only purchase our new location, but also to make significant improvements to it. And that includes putting in a new handicap ramp, a new elevator, new windows in the building, and repairing bathrooms for handicap access, as well as putting in proper security lights and security cameras. So other things in the future would be to redo the parking lot and make some changes in the rooms to use them for programming. But that's the main goal, is to have a building that we can do better programming and ministry in, and have parking that's adequate for the use of the building. So that was a huge step on the part of our congregation this month that we took. So.
Well, you just said like the 101 basics of finding a building, about parking. People need to be able to park close, and then you have to have the space to adequately do your ministry.
That is really true. And then having adequate transportation for our people that use public transportation.
Right.
So we have a bus stop right in front of the church building that has a bus that arrives shortly before the service starts. and we also have a gay-friendly neighborhood. So we're really grateful that God has been moving in this area, and we'll see how things continue to move in the next few months. So,
Barry, can I ask you a question?
of course.
Hi, Barry.
Hi.
This is Joy. I've been having trouble moving my Dayton church towards selling their building. Tell me how you all did that in Louisville.
It's a discussion of several years. We had a committee that went and gathered a lot of really detailed information while Reverend Bob was our intentional interim. And they presented that detailed information to the congregation about how much it would cost to repair the current building and what was out on the market that we might look at. And the committee did an outstanding job. And then when Reverend Colleen came, the first thing we did is we had a mission and vision day where we spent an entire half-day retreat on our mission and vision. And out of that, we realized that we did not have a facility that met the mission and vision that the congregation had approved of. And that was the big turning point right there in the mind of the congregation, was after that half-day retreat. And then a number of congregational meetings, voting on a number of very difficult decisions, and here we are.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It really is a process of several years, even to get to the point where we are right now. And of course, no firm offers have been tendered yet. So, but we just have a lot of great opportunity that we're looking for here. So,
well, the fact that you have people that are interested is phenomenal, because that kind of building you have is not easy to sell.
Right. That is very, very true. So we do feel really blessed right now. I'll just share a couple of more things real quickly. We are going to have a very active season this year for Lent, which will begin on Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, with a pancake supper, and then, of course, we'll go ahead and get started on Ash Wednesday with Lent this year at the congregation. And we also have a wonderful opportunity as a network, which I wanted to introduce, and that is that Reverend Kathy Porter, who is a member of the Louisville congregation and is ordained in MCC, has volunteered to provide additional peer pastoral support in our network. And she will be replacing Reverend Paul Anway on the leadership committee, and will be working directly with me on peer pastoral support. And so she and I have met, and we've gotten off to a great start. And we're looking forward to being in touch with many, many of our folks in the network to offer better support to them in various ways.
Oh, just to let you know, Todd is online. He just wasn't able to get into the call to talk, but he's listening.
Are you texting him or something, or communicating?
Yeah, I was texting him. Yeah.
Okay, so ask him if there's anything else that he wants to share.
I will.
You know, hey Beth, what's going on at Elizabethtown? Beth?
We're not hearing you.
Beth? Are you there, Beth? Beth?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm having issues with this computer. I hate this thing. We're holding our own. Budget is down, and right now for February is we've got rent and the basic necessities covered, but that's about it. But we've hit hideous times like this before, and God always pulls us out. And budget is actually, we've lowered it. And the last 2 weeks, we've come closer to meeting it than we have. So if we can kind of pull out of this little February slump, we've got a lot of activities planned. We've got a Super Bowl party coming up. We're doing our Fat Tuesday party. We're having Ash Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, and all of the Lent involved stuff. We usually do a Lenten Bible study. I don't know if we are this year or not. I forgot to ask. But we're making it. We've been doing our monthly movie night. We're still doing our Pride Center. We're working on another day to open the clothes closet for people to come in if they need clothes or whatever. We've gotten a lot of new winter gear and a lot of more clothes in, so we need to kind of start farming back out. So we're going to plan another day to just open the clothes closet to the community. Anybody that needs anything comes and gets it. We've got a Valentine's dance coming up.
You have a lot of things going on the next couple months.
We really do. I mean, if we are active, we are in it to win it. If we could just meet budget, that is really always our only downfall. Is we're always worried about the budget, but we're going to go down in flames if we go down. I mean, we are keeping going and ministering to as many people as we can. Keep everybody as involved as we can.
We'll all be lifting you up in prayer.
Thank you. We need it.
In Indianapolis, we have our I guess our second annual Life Journey Church Got Talent. It's sort of a take on the show America's Got Talent, and we don't even require people to audition. There's always funny acts and people that aren't quite so talented, but we let them on anyway. Kind of like what American Idol does when they have their auditions and stuff like that. So it's pretty raw, but it's fun. All the pastoral staff is required to do something. So this year as a staff, we're going to be doing, the end of The Sound of Music when they're going to, the scene where they're going to bed. So Long Farewell. That song, and all the kids one by one go up the stairs to go to bed. Well, we're going to actually sort of play out that scene at the very last act as a pastoral staff. So that's going to be a hoot probably. We're going to all be dressed in character. It'll be funny, I guess, I hope. One of the things that we're doing, we have 12 small groups. We have 12 Oasis groups that meet at the church or at people's homes around the city, and we put together this year for the first time a schedule that each of the Oasis groups is going to be doing, so that certain classes or Bible studies are in our main calendar, so we can sort of have some kind of a quarterly newsletter to advertise various offerings that we're going to be doing, and it's a little bit more deliberate so that everybody knows what's going on, and because sometimes our small groups would sort of plan things as they go along, and this time we actually asked for year-long plans. So currently, right now, we're 7 of our Oasis groups are doing a diversity series. This is all everything that happened in Ferguson and Florida, New York. So we're sort of doing a diversity series, and within that diversity series, we even talk about diversity in worship, and including that as a discussion as well. It's a 5-week series. The 5th week is watching the movie Crash together and talking about some of the things that happen in that movie. Plus, we've got other classes that we've assembled or new ones that we're putting together that each of the Oasis groups have signed up for, so that people can be attending those instead of having a list of separate classes that we offer at the church outside the Oasis groups, because we keep competing with ourselves when we do that. Right now we have a new membership discipleship class where we've got, I think, 16 people who will be in our next membership class, but they'll be joining earlier in the spring when this is all over. I think that's probably the big news for now at Life Journey. I guess Shannon, what's going on at Columbus?
I actually don't know everything that's going on in Columbus right now. I just went back to church last Sunday for my 6-month sabbatical. It seemed like that everything was pretty much the same as far as activities and attendance. I do know that with me being back there, we're going to jumpstart stewardship and talk about our next gen council, and there's a lot of things coming up for technology since I'm back in the congregation. I know they started with their new board members in January, so we have 2 new board members and 1 that's been on the board for many years. We just have 3, and I don't think there's any activities coming up anytime soon, but I'll probably have more information for you next month once I've been back a little bit longer.
What about the technology? What's going on there?
I know that we're going to start using this service, the Hangouts on Air, to do worship service live online so that some of the shut-ins can participate in worship. Also know that we're going to start recording the sermons a video so that if they're not able to join live, then they can watch the video later. I've switched up my field ed project quite a bit, so look for some changes with that. I know they made some adjustments to Margaret's contract. She's down to half-time now. So I know the leadership's in negotiation with what that may look like and how the other leaders can step up to fill in the tasks and responsibilities that she had at 3/4 time. So not much will change, but there's a few of us that want to step in.
I mean, was that due to like budget stuff or
Budget stuff? Yeah. We're in a financial crisis, so we've been trying to work through that probably for the last 3 to 5 years, what that will look like and what changes may need to be made for us to stay afloat. So I think a lot of us, I know Elizabethtown goes up and down with their struggle. And I think we're following suit as far as what cousin churches are doing.
How is Margaret's health, Shannon?
It continues to go back and forth. Right now, she's not doing as well as she was a couple months ago, but I would say that has a lot to do with the weather. I know she's got a few things scheduled to try to figure out if maybe it's her home environment that's causing the issue. She's not able to walk very much, and depending on the day is if she has the oxygen on all day or not.
all day?
Sometimes she has an all-day oxygen day, and some days she just needs it just to catch her breath. But she hasn't had any symptoms of a cold or bronchitis, which usually right about now she'll usually get sick with a cold or something with respiratory. So I think her immune system is stable, but there's some conditions that need to be investigated to figure out why she keeps going back into the same place with her health.
You know, we need to keep Margaret in prayer as well. I know Lillian. Lillian's not on the call. Is she watching, Shannon?
Not watching. Several notifications went out. She did confirm she would be a part of the call, but I have not seen any emails saying she's having trouble or she couldn't make it, so I'm not sure.
Lillian was able to come up to Louisville for the memorial service of one of our longtime deacons at the church, Judy Patterson. And Lillian was able to fellowship with several of the folks while she was in town. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see her while she was here, so I don't have any real news to share at this point. But she was able to come up to Louisville earlier this month.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Barry. Yeah, I haven't talked to Lily in over a month, so I probably don't have much I could report as myself in regard to that. But in the you know the our first I guess our first official newsletter will be coming out later this week, and Shannon's been doing a lot of setting up to get things to get input from all the churches in as easy a way as possible. So Shannon, thank you so much. I've seen what you've been doing in the little forms. I'll fill out a couple of those tonight and tomorrow. But this will be nice to finally have something more official, instead of me throwing together an email every now and then, based on what I know. But this will be good.
Yeah, I tried to find a way to organize the information so that we could look back if we needed to in just a standardized format to enter the information in monthly for the leaders and the pastors who will be giving us information to share. And I do encourage everyone to post their website links and their Facebook links into the form so that I can share that on the newsletter.
Right. Since I've got, I guess there are non-network team people here. I just want to ask I guess a general question. We have a formal network gathering every year, and a lot of times, the topic is sort of very centered on a certain objective, and everybody comes, and I realize that not everybody is going to be excited about the topic, but we're excited to be together as a network and support that, encourage that. One of the things the network team is toying with is, what if we had a second, more informal gathering where we sort of came together in a central location where it was more like a group retreat thing. So instead of a learning kind of network gathering, it was more like a retreat, connection together, sort of growing spiritually together, and our connection and communication as a network. What do you guys think about that, and how would you guys receive that, especially if it was someplace like centrally located at some kind of a place that would house retreats that would be sort of equidistant from everybody around the network?
I love the idea so long as it's inexpensive, because my people, it's hard to convince them to go do anything like that if it costs.
Okay, yes, and the place we're looking at, rooms tend to be $25-$30. Yeah, and then the meals, it includes meals. It's sort of like an overnight. The meals that are there, so there would be less impact on us having to throw stuff together, but it would be relatively inexpensive. The space is not super expensive either to do things. And so that probably is one of our top concerns, is making sure that it's something that's not expensive. So thank you for that input. What about others? Anybody else have any opinion? Steve? Jimmy?
That sounds fine to me. I know we talked about it a little bit last time we had a call.
Yes, I think you're right.
Be this coming spring, and this spring's not good for me, but doing so next year would work.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Jimmy? How do you think Pittsburgh would, or at least some people in Pittsburgh would accept that?
I think it would be a good idea, but like was already mentioned, the cost is a big factor for a lot of our people.
Right.
Too. So, but
well, whether we started this year or next year, that's sort of up in the air. But I just wanted to hear what people thought. Yeah, and it is, the thing is that the cost would sort of have everything. It wouldn't be like go find a hotel and stuff. So basically, we would know what the cost is. Period. so it wouldn't, we would be all in the same location, um, and doing things together at the same location, eating together at the same location. So it wouldn't be going off on your own, after, well, I guess Friday night into Saturday, or maybe even into Sunday. I mean, it depends on cost and all, what we're looking at on how that unfolds. But just wanted to get some feedback because we still have work to do and talking through that at the network team level. Do you have any? Do you have any insights, Barry, hearing all this?
Just from the peer pastoral support thing, the idea of having a spiritual retreat that includes some time for personal reflection and also group activities, I think would really enhance the better support that we're giving to our pastors. And then for the lay people, it could give them a lot of really good spiritual growth and help that they could take back into the programming in the various churches too. So I see it as sort of having a cascade effect of a number of really good benefits. And then the third area that I'm interested in is if people feel that the network gathering for that year is either too far away from them or the topic is not relevant to them, they still have another opportunity to connect into network fellowship that year. So right. I just see a lot of really good benefits, although I do agree that this spring is just too late. I think looking for the future, and of course next year is General Conference in Victoria, so that's another scheduling thing we have to think about for next year. And for those of you who are interested, there is a promotional rate for the General Conference for next year, which is available until the end of March of this year. So it's something to think about if you're budgeting or thinking about budgeting for General Conference.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. So if especially clergy, pastors, if the churches are paying or for some of that, it might be good to do it early because it saves the churches a lot of money. So if you're a clergy person or on your board or you have influence, you may want to bring that up. That's almost like clergy license. If you apply for your clergy license before December 1st, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than if you wait till after. So is there anything else that we need to talk about?
Just looking down the road a ways, Louisville is hoping to debut their new website in the springtime. So we will be keeping you guys abreast of that, and after the new website is live, we'll let everybody know. And we're expecting it to be a really big improvement for ministry once that website has been revamped and relaunched. And then for later this year, my partner, Robin White, he has been involved in a committee under the moderator's office of MCC, along with a researcher at Vanderbilt School of Medicine in Nashville, for GLBT health concerns in rural environments, which is something that's near and dear to my heart and his heart, is providing better guidance and resources for the health of GLBTs who live in rural areas. And their findings and deliberations are going to be published later this year. So when you see Robin at network gathering this fall or that type of thing, you might want to ask him about some of the outcome of this committee that the moderator's office has been working on. I'm very excited about it, actually, and the resources it could bring to our churches.
Yeah, I think Nancy mentioned to me something about some grant on doing some of this study when I saw her. Maybe it was at Louisville at Judy Dale's memorial last year. But yeah, well, that sounds really good. That sounds interesting. Most of the churches in our network, we have a lot of rural areas represented. in our network, and we may be more heavily than other networks in that regard. Well, so it is. We got a few more minutes. Does anybody else need to get anything off their chest before we pray us out? So I will say our closing prayer. God, we're so thankful that we can come together, one time a month and share, see what's going on, the good things, the bad things, the questions we ask each other to help us grow on our journey and community. God, continue to help us and guide us, help us to be the network you call us to be and do the things in our network that's going to help our churches grow and help our leadership become leaders in the church that you want them to be. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
All right. Thank you, David and Shannon.
Good night. This call will be posted on the newsletter. Everybody can listen from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.